Hello, welcome to the Weird Al Podcast. Podcast where we talk about the two greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al Yankovic. My Aunt Lala and my dad are the hosts of the show. Thanks for listening to the Weird Al Podcast, part of the iPods Media Network. Stay weird and enjoy the show.
Here we go.
Well, hey, how are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see ya. What can you say? Where's Lala?
Oh gosh, everybody. You know, it's time for a very special episode of the Weird Al Podcast, which is the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And I'm Lauren. I am always here. And on these very special episodes, my brother John is not here because he's not very special. And I have very special people on. And actually, this is kind of a very special thing that is occurring in this moment. Because I've had a lot of guests on the show, but nobody who also has a podcast about Weird Al. And that is happening right now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have Tim from the WeirdPals podcast here.
It's me. Hello.
Hello. First of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's very generous of you. I need to join the party. Hold on.
Oh, you did it. And you know what I'm going to do for you?
What's that?
I had to pop myself a beer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, see, I love when guests have beer with me because sometimes I get to pull like a George Thorogood and it's like I drink alone, but not today.
No, not when I'm around. Not at all.
Thank you. So right here at the jump, why don't you tell the listeners of the Weird Al podcast what Weird Pals is all about?
Oh, man. You nailed that sentence. It's going to be a real tongue twister.
It
this whole
was.
episode. Okay, so Weird Pals is a project started, I think, similar to yours, during the pandemic, finding an excuse to hang out with my friends I wasn't allowed to hang out with anymore. So I started a show with my friend Joel up in Oregon, and he's a huge Weird Al fan, and I was a hugely bored human being, and I'm like a second generation Weird Al fan.
Same.
So we like grabbed onto our communal love for Weird Al and created a show. We've gone to shows together even, and he has handed off the torch now that we're into season 3 to my new co-host Andy Feldman, and we record out here in the Bay Area in California. So we are, depending on when this comes out, nearing the end of our season 3 of our Weird Pals show.
I will tell you when this is coming out. This is coming out June 16th.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. So we're like halfway into this season.
Okay.
And we are covering Dare to be Stupid on our show, and we're going one track at a time. We bring in some funny person and make them be a third expert and throw them into the fire.
I love that. Yeah. So the experts that you bring in, are they Weird Al fans, or sometimes are they people that you're just kind of throwing into the fire?
Oh, we by expert I mean person who responds to email.
Okay, that's an expert. Yep.
Yeah. So we've had friends in our improv community. We did. We're going to be doing. Oh, we had my middle school band teacher came on and will be on the Yoda episode.
Oh, that's delightful. Quick sidebar. What did you play in band?
Oh, I played, he taught me how to play the bass guitar. And then the main band teacher said bass guitar wasn't a real instrument, so I had to play the tuba.
Oh, okay. I played clarinet and my brother played trumpet in band. So that's why we ask, because it's like, okay, this all tracks.
My brother was first chair clarinet, so I
Okay.
know the kinds of noises made on the other side of my bedroom wall
Yeah.
when someone is practicing the clarinet.
Yeah, it's a lot of noise.
They're a delight. We're gonna have on the show. We have a NASA specialist, and one of my coworkers is on for slime creatures of outer space. We've got a what do you call it? The air guitar champion, 2 years running, Hot Licks Houlihan. He's on as
Oh.
a special guest this season. And then weirdly, very fun, we got to I did a phone interview with Bill Plimpton, and that episode just came out this last week. So it's kind of it turned into a dumb thing with two friends and has like exploded into a very silly run into people online and see if we can catch some, an hour with them and pick their brain.
Yeah, that's totally how all of this works. That's exactly how this works. And I will tell you this right here on my show. If you would ever like to pull me in as an expert, I think we've talked about this offline, but I'd be more than happy to be an expert on literally anything.
Lauren, you're in.
Thank you.
You're in.
Great. I love it because I love talking about Weird Al. Today, literally, I think I posted about this on Twitter, but I got the poster from the Weird the Al Yankovic story movie, not the official movie poster, but there was an art print done. It was like a illustration,
like a Mondo kind of thing.
An illustration of the recording of My Bologna in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ordered that. I pre-ordered it, completely forgot about it. And then I want to say about 3-4 weeks ago, it showed up in the mail and I was like, oh my God, I forgot I ordered this. Well, look at this, lucky day. And so it's been sitting in my office because I need a frame for it. And I posted in the Close Personal Friends of Al group on Facebook that this story that was like, I forgot about this. Where should I hang it? And then somebody was like, obviously you need to hang it in the bathroom. And I'm like,
oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, obviously I do. So today I ordered a frame for it, and that frame should arrive tomorrow. So or probably around this time tomorrow, that poster will be in my bathroom.
That's beautiful.
And
is it like a sleek, elegant frame, or is it like a big, gaudy, frilly frame?
Sleek and elegant probably isn't the word for it. It's an economical frame because It's a large frame. And so it's like, do I want to spend more money on the frame than I spent on the poster? No.
Right,
so
yes.
I got something that will keep it protected in the bathroom, but also allow me to hang it in the bathroom.
Wise.
Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah.
Now, I have another question about the things that you have.
Yes.
How many T-shirts?
Oh, that's a really good question. 50 plus is the answer to that. I don't know for sure. But my husband and I have a YouTube channel because it kind of was an offshoot of his podcast. So it's the Infectious Groove Music YouTube channel. Okay. And I am noodling around with the idea of asking him if I can commandeer it for an episode and just kind of do an overview of all of my Weird Al shirts.
Yeah.
Yes. Because people have asked. People have asked because and you know what? He's great too, my husband, because he was the one who folds the laundry and he knows to keep my Weird Al t-shirts separate from like other shirts. So like I'll wear like different t-shirts like to the gym or like here or whatever. And, so they'll all end up in the laundry together and I'll have like a regular t-shirt pile and a Weird Al t-shirt pile. And so he keeps them separate, which I think that's a lot. That's
He's
a lot.
A keeper.
He truly is. Yeah, if that isn't love, I don't know what love is.
That's right. To quote the patron saint.
Yes. I love that you pick up on, see, this is why I like talking to Weird Al people because there are things that come out of my mouth that people are like, huh? What? No, what? But see, you're catching everything I'm putting down. So, Weird Al, we have beer. And I feel like I need to show you this. I've got a pint glass with my logo on it and everything because I'm super cool. Yeah. And I don't have anything super special. I just have something that's a standby in my fridge that I've probably had on this show before, but I like it enough to have it again. It's from one of my favorites, New Belgium. Their Voodoo Ranger series is great.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got the Juicy Haze IPA because I think it's delightful. I have no elegant pairing for anything with Alapalooza or anything along those lines other than the fact that I could probably see the outfit that the little skeleton guy on the can has, maybe attending a Lollapalooza or something like that, because he looks cool enough to do so.
Well, the T-Rex is a skeleton from the cover. So and your fellow there is a skeleton.
Is a skeleton. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So you and a skeleton with glasses. All right. See, you have
Yes.
made a connection for me that I didn't make for myself, which is why I appreciate having Weird Al people on the show.
We got each other's back.
Thank you.
My literal neighborhood brewery is Ghost Town Brewery in West Oakland. And they have like a death metal themed brewery. So everything has like skull and crossbones on it. And everything sort of has like a dark, disturbing like theme to it. And I always go there. So I actually have like an array of them.
Ooh.
This West Coast is called Heinous. And it's got like a Renaissance painting of like one of those like Dante's Inferno paintings.
Oh,
like
that's wild.
hellscapes.
I love a good West Coast IPA too. Like
Yes,
I know
West
I'm
Coast is
drinking a hazy one
great.
right now, but West Coast is the best coast for IPA.
Yes. Yeah. The danker, the better. And then today I'm going to be drinking Chalice out of a chalice. I'm just going to keep it in the can, actually, is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's got Strata and Citra hops in it.
That's a good combo. Because time is a flat circle. On the episode that our listeners are going to hear next Friday that I recorded with my brother yesterday as of us recording this, which is not a Friday. And again, if you listen to that, we did a whole little game where you had to guess what day of the week we were recording that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
The beer I had Citra and Strata and like one other hop in it. And yeah, it's delightful. They're a good combo. That's a good combo.
Yeah, of course.
You get to a point with beer, and I can't always like taste an IPA and be like, oh yes, it's these hops. But if I see it on the can and it was like, if I know kind of ahead of time what it's going to be, I'll taste it and be like, oh, yep.
It's like after the fact, like, oh yeah, I could have guessed, but I wasn't gonna. So
right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's close. It's close. So
If I didn't have the Untapped app, I would forget every beer I've ever had and would always start from scratch on like what I'm drinking, because I have a very sort of my memory is foggy at best, and so having that like marked down is handy.
Oh, it is. I still duplicate things that I didn't think I would. Like I'll go somewhere like to one of the many, many breweries here in Jacksonville, and I'll be like, oh, that looks good. I'm going to have that. And then I go and check it in on Untapped, and it's like, you've checked this beer in 4 times before. And I'm like,
Idiot.
Have I really done that? Did I like it less last time? Because I think this is great today. Like,
oh, I don't even help myself. Like I'll rate it generally what I want to, but then my review is always something nonsensical. I'll always be like, the photo on the wall I'm staring at is delightful, or like the bathrooms here are nice. Like it's usually a review of the venue and not of the beer I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So the tool is only kind of helpful for myself, and that's my own fault.
well, yeah, no, I mean, you just live your life. I just
live my
just
life,
live your
everyone.
life,
You gotta
Yeah.
forgive me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All right, so we have talked about our beers. You've talked about your podcast. I believe the next thing for me to do is explain what we're doing here today.
Oh, I wish you would.
So, as we've done a couple of times before here on this show, is we're taking an album, and my guest and I are going to talk about what we feel is the most underrated track on that album. And the album du jour for this episode is 1993's Alapalooza. And this came out, like I said, in 1993, was recorded really quickly after Off the Deep End came out, and then just kind of came out and kind of sort of did its thing. It was great. I thought it was great. It's not like one of those like landmark, this is a really big moment in time Weird Al albums,
It's true. The lead single was Jurassic
Yep.
Park, which makes sense because the film was out in 1993, but MacArthur Park was a 30-year-old song. So it's sort of counterintuitive to what people might be expecting from a lead Weird Al single.
Yeah, but to that point, this is the kind of thing that sort of kicked off us having the likes of The Saga Begins and Ode to a Superhero, Weird Al taking old songs and making them about movies.
Yeah, and he already started it with like TV shows because he did Lost on Jeopardy when that was off the air, and people like attributed to him like starting the interest back up and it getting back on the air. And then we just recorded here. We did a watch along for George of the Jungle.
Okay.
He put that in Dare to Be Stupid, and that was way off the air by the time that came out. So it doesn't seem like time is a huge it's interesting because he sometimes really wants to be timely, right? It was a problem when it came to Alpacalypse, like the timing of the release and like pop hits and that kind of thing. But then he like has these like legacy spoofs, parodies, like even on the last album he did Mission Statement,
Right.
which is like, parodying a band that's almost like 50 years in the past.
Yeah.
It was interesting to have, because I feel like usually his lead single is like something trendy and of the moment, but this one wasn't, despite Bedrock Anthem being like this, I think the second single, and being a modern parody of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It was a modern parody, but about something that's like not modern, and this is not
True.
that's not even a Flintstones joke, like about
No,
them
because
being
that
like
movie
cavemen.
wasn't out yet.
That movie wasn't out yet, and the show had been off the air for like 30, almost 30 years. So it's crazy town. It's absolute crazy town. But
which I'm sure the Scotty brothers were like dying, because they're like, we know it's funny to be obscure and odd and reference strange things, but boy, that Nirvana thing really helped.
Yeah.
So maybe if you could do that again, that would be helpful.
yeah, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I don't know. But yeah, Alapalooza. Alapalooza is a delightful little album, and so like you said,
I listened to your ranking episode, and you had a guest that he was like a Jeopardy trivia champion.
Oh yeah, Alex Jacob.
Yeah, Alex Jacob. And you bring little old me here along, so I feel honored to be in this seat that Alex Jacob was previously in. And you, very cavalier, used the word masterpiece for Alapalooza.
I did.
And I need you to explain yourself, because masterpiece, I'm very anal about analyzing art, because masterpiece implies what singular, the superlative, best. This one shall not be trounced, and I feel like that's a hard sell, unless you would like to lower the standard for masterpiece to say that all masterpieces are allowed, and any artist can have as many masterpieces as they wish.
Well, first of all, yes, any artist can have as many masterpieces as they wish, as long as that artist is Weird Al. Because I feel like everything that he puts out can be called in one way or another a masterpiece.
He's our King Midas.
Yes, depending on the mood that you're in. But no, I get what you're saying. Alapalooza, if I'm in the right headspace, start to finish, perfection.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then there are other times where I'm like, what happened here? What happened here? Why did this happen?
I think this is an interesting album, because I think, unlike other albums, even of other bands, the middle third is the best third, which I usually albums like tend to front load themselves on like what I think are the best songs, or like have sort of like an epic tale to like a finishing move to them. And for some reason, this album was like, I think like the real strong heavy hitters, in terms of like people who are already drinking the Kool-Aid on Weird Al, get the most out of maybe on the middle third of this thing.
I get that. I mean, we'll probably get into more of that when we just discuss what we think are the most underrated tracks. Because all this to say is not to give too much away, but
I don't want you to spoil it all. I want to be surprised.
Okay,
entirely.
well then I'll surprise you. This album does do some stuff that I'm kind of like, no, Weird Al, why did you do that? And I guess what I'm going to do now is kind of go through for the people a general overview of the album. I'm just going to kind of list off the tracks, just kind of what they are, so we know what we're getting into before we decide what we think is underrated. So the lead single and the opening track of Alapalooza is Jurassic Park, which is about the movie Jurassic Park, and it is a parody of MacArthur Park, which, yeah, like, why did that happen? But also park. So that's low-hanging fruit.
That's right. Right. What song has park in it? Go.
Right, exactly. There really isn't much else. And I saw him do this on the Strings Attached tour from the front row.
Oh, cool. That would be fun.
And it was he still hit the note. He did the whole thing, and it was resplendent.
Excellent.
So I love that very much. And then track 2 is Young, Dumb, and Ugly, which is purportedly a style parody of AC/DC and other hard rock of that ilk. And yep, that's what it is, I guess.
It's got a real straightforward Angus Young guitar lick on it, so I think it's a pretty accurate.
Very straightforward, and they are, I guess they were at the time, at some point in time, young, dumb, and ugly.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore.
Right.
Despite them still releasing albums, no longer young.
Yeah,
Angus Young will still bust out the childhood shorts.
I was going to say, don't let those schoolboy shorts fool you. Nobody's young over here. Then the third track on Alapalooza is Bedrock Anthem, which is it's a parody of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge and Give It Away, which is kind of a weird little medley parody kind of thing, which I think he only did that one other time with the plumbing song.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I have less association with the plumbing song, only because I liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers when I was a kid. So a rare occasion when I was a child, I understood where these songs came from. But the plumber song is to me is just one song because I'm familiar with.
Oh no,
Milli
I'm
Vanilli
not
or whatever.
super familiar with Milli Vanilli, but I know that it's two. It's they're two big hits.
Yeah, it's
kind
Blame It on the Rain and something else.
Yeah, Blame It on the Drain. And I can't even tell you what the other one is at this moment.
They didn't sing the songs anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, I know. I mean, but who today sings? So,
good point.
I
don't even host my podcast.
Right. I'm an avatar. Bedrock Anthem is followed up by Frank's 2000-inch TV, which is an absolute classic, and it's a style parody of early REM and things like that. And it's absolutely delightful, and it pops into my head every time I see Robert De Niro in anything.
That's excellent.
It's true. It's very true. And then Frank's 2000-inch TV is followed up by Achy Breaky Song, which is a parody of Achy Breaky Heart by one William Raymond Cyrus. And
his legal name.
For
God's green earth.
Yeah.
William
Raymond Cyrus. Here's the thing about I don't think we're going to talk too much more about Achy Breaky Song, but man, this is probably one of the meanest Weird Al songs that there is, because it's actually poking fun at a thing. It's this song is just bad. Don't make me listen to it.
I almost picked it as the most underrated. I did not, but I was very close. And that's not only because, but one of my hobbies is country line dancing. And they play Achy Breaky Heart every once in a while, and folks do the electric slide to it.
Okay.
And I became good friends with one of the instructors at the bar that I most frequent for country line dancing. She ended up learning that I had a Weird Al podcast and was like, are there any Weird Al country songs? I was like, you won't believe it. There's actually a parody of a song that we do. And then more than one occasion after that, without me asking, she has played the Weird Al version in the bar instead. And you kind of see people slowly figuring out that these words are different. And that's a delight. And so I have a personal association with that song, but can't much stand for. It doesn't really sound that great sonically, or it's one of those list songs, and I have there's a low ceiling for list songs for me, but I do he's just pulling out here's a list of people who make bad music, ready, set, go. And I think that's rather bold.
Yeah, it is rather bold. You should have her pull out Good Enough for Now at some point.
That's right. Yes, it's coming.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Or a truck driving song.
The thing about my show is there's so much I do this to myself. It's no one to blame but myself. But I do a lot of editing and a lot of post-production stuff. And then getting guests and stuff. So it takes forever to get through one album. So when I'm like, friends are like, "Oh, hit me up when you do Ode to a Superhero." I'm like, "Well, I'll hit you up in 7 years." So remember this conversation, please.
That's great. That's great. See, and I think that's partly why my brother and I like to jump around a little bit, because
Yeah, you can't wait. If you got inspiration, just jump on
just jump on it. Yeah, because it's so funny. I found a beer that was literally called "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls."
Oh yeah.
It's in my fridge right now, and I messaged my brother. I was like, "Did we do phony calls already?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Damn it!
We're doing it again."
No, we can't do it again. I have a guest lined up for a bad hair day version of
There
what
you
we're
go.
doing
Yeah.
here, and I'm like, "All right, I'll hang on to
It'll
this.
keep till then.
It'll be fine as long as I keep it in the fridge. It'll be okay."
Yeah.
But yes, Achy Breaky Song is followed up by the Prince pastiche, Traffic Jam. And I think Traffic Jam is such a perfect, like, FU to Prince, because he wanted to parody Prince so bad, and Prince was like, no.
Nuh-uh.
And so Weird Al was like, okay, I'm just going to Prince.
I'll Prince
Anyway.
this.
And I think it's delightful. Then we have the Aerosmith parody, Living in the Fridge, which is a parody of Living on the Edge.
Talk Soup.
Oh, I skipped Talk Soup. I did
Which
skip
I
Talk
think
Soup.
is the Prince song.
No, well, Traffic Jam is the Prince song. Talk
Oh.
Soup was supposed to be the theme song for the show Talk Soup. Like, there was talks
Wow.
to have this. Yeah. So he literally was kind of commissioned to do this song. And
Whoa.
then it ended up not happening for one reason or another. But yeah, he wrote this about, so Talk Soup is just about all of those, like, early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, like talk shows where people are just like, I'm an ordinary person with this one small weird thing, and I'm going to talk about it on, and
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's a perfect time capsule because we don't have shows like that anymore. This song doesn't even make sense anymore, Talk Soup.
I think we're probably all better for it.
Yeah, I mean, we might be, but also, like, like if you're a person of a certain age and I'm just looking at you and I'm like, you had a sick day, you watched that crap.
Yeah, Jerry Springer was my era of garbage.
Yeah.
Free and like Montel Williams and that kind of thing.
Oh,
But,
yeah, I loved me some Sally Jesse. I loved Jenny Jones, Maury Povich. I watched them all. So,
God
yes,
bless
you're
you.
right. I skipped Talk Soup. So it goes Traffic Jam, Talk Soup, which is a Weird Al original, has like some flavorings of Peter Gabriel, but it is not the Peter Gabriel
that's
pastiche
that's
on
what I
this.
was thinking of.
And then that's followed by Living in the Fridge, which is the parody of Aerosmith's Living on the Edge. And
Right. Yeah.
that gets followed up by a Weird Al original, She Never Told Me She Was a Mime.
Uh-huh.
Which, how could she tell you? Because she's a mime.
A whole song explained by the title. How kind.
Right. That's, you gotta love him for doing that for us.
It's
And-
economical.
Yeah. And it's kind. It's kind and beautiful. And then probably one of Weird Al's longest epic songs follows that. It's Harvey the Wonder Hamster,
Yeah.
which I saw him do again on the Strings Attached tour with a full freaking orchestra. This whole
That's good.
21-second song the orchestra had to learn to do.
Delightful.
And it was absolutely delightful and magical. And that's
all the movements, it's very like Vivaldi in the Four Seasons. It's
Yes.
Harvey and the One Hamster in the 31 seconds.
yeah, it's it's a masterpiece. Is that okay to say?
It's absolutely. I think it's the appropriate song to use for that.
Yeah, it is. And that is followed up by what is actually attributed as a Peter Gabriel pastiche, Waffle King. And the album is closed by the only polka that is just one song. It's the Bohemian Polka, which is a polka of Bohemian Rhapsody. And I need to sidebar this very quickly because
Far away.
I somehow, I don't know how it happened, ended up on like an email list for like a word of the day thing. And literally just the other day, the word of the day was scaramouche.
Huh.
Do you know what Scaramouche means?
I'm going to need you to teach me. I
Right.
don't know.
And this will put this whole thing in like a whole different, like you'll go, oh, a Scaramouche is a person who is boastful yet also cowardly.
Boastful and cowardly. Interesting.
So the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz is a Scaramouche,
Okay, so talks big,
but is
and then
not.
folds once it's time to do something.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Scaramouche.
Yeah. I thought it was nonsense, but it's
yes,
an actual.
I thought it was also nonsense. Or like Latin or something.
Yeah. No, but it's a word that means somebody who's boastful but cowardly.
Now, do Scaramouches often do the fandango, or is that just this one particular Scaramouche?
I'm not sure, but doesn't it put in perspective the line "thunderbolt of lightning"? Very, very frightening.
Yeah. Oh, like because are you saying because a thunderbolt is loud and boisterous, but
But
perhaps not.
the Scaramouche doing the fandango, thunderbolt of lightning. Oh, very, very frightening. Like because he's cowardly.
Oh, I see. So you're saying the thunderbolt of lightning is the boisterous part, and then the line very, very frightening is the timid part.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
So I'm again. This is still my brain piecing this together with this new knowledge of the definition of Scaramouche.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I feel like that whole song could really be dove into like lyrically of like what is this exactly? And
Yeah.
because it's one of those songs that you'll sing with, to me, it's like I sing it and I only glom on to like some of the meaning. Killed the man and put a gun to his head, pulled trigger to his head. It was like, that's very clear and straightforward. And then the rest of it is sort of like la la na na na, headbanging guitar music.
Who knows?
I very rarely hold on to a full song and its whole narrative.
Yeah. Oh, and that's one of those songs that's very difficult to do that with. So that is a rundown of the tracks on Alapalooza. And after this brief ad break, we are going to, my guest Tim from WeirdPals and I are going to dive into what we think are the most underrated tracks on Alapalooza. Tim is going to go first.
Ooh.
And we're going to dive into his pick. And then if my pick is different than his, we're going to spend some time talking about mine. And as I have been saying on these, if you don't like the ads you're hearing, they're based on stuff that you listen to and or Google. So it is your own fault.
It's your own fault, folks.
Here you go.
Hey, this is Grab and Brisket Podcast. Join us every Monday where we talk about the latest trends in barbecue, interviews with world top pitmasters, celebrity cooks,
Ooh, like Wee Man from Jackass.
and musicians.
Like Rich O'Toole?
So check us out. We do beer reviews, barbecue fails.
So many fires.
Dude, a lot of people just burn their houses down for no reason.
We also talk about cocaine hippos versus meth gators,
Learn how to make some tailgate gravy.
altercations with Texas Rangers.
People throwing Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, so check out grabthebrisket.com for podcast info, viral social media posts, and so much more.
And we're back.
Oh, I took a quick nap and now I'm awake.
Okay, great. So those ads were delightful. Or
I
not.
liked the second one.
Good. Or not, depending on what you
or I'm
Googled.
entirely opposed to whatever the second one was.
Right? It's going to be different for everyone. Great targeted advertising. So, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, before you tell me the song that you picked, what kind of is your definition of like an underrated Weird Al track? Like what went into your thinking into picking this song? Was it like something that you feel like more people should hear, or whatever your definition of underrated is in this case? Lay it on me.
Okay, so underrated, a term that should be defined before approaching this conversation. I am a classic overthinker. So I was deciding, okay, underrated obviously can't be a popular song known to the masses. That would be silly. And then if you hone in more, it probably shouldn't even be a song praised within the Weird Al fandom. Even one of those songs seems a little bit like overwrought with praise, perhaps. So I love one of the bits we have on our show is we, at the end of each episode, we go on this ridiculous website that we found during season 1 called Get Song BPM. And it's basically a website run by an algorithm. And it takes a song and it breaks it into like numerical values for different things.
Okay.
And it's very silly. So I have taken the spirit of that and I've tried to find numerical values to determine what song might be considered the most underrated. So here are the results of my research that will lead me to the song. And if you have an inkling of what you think it might be, I want you to take a stab.
Okay.
And see if your guess is correct.
This is great. I love all the science in this.
Don't speak too soon. Okay. This song, let me get you here. Okay. On the WeirdAlForum.com, if you go to the Alapalooza thread, this song has the least amount of comments. So even within the community, and this was like a forum from like more than 10 years ago, has the least amount. I went onto the iTunes store and sorted it by popularity. This song is at the bottom.
Oh my.
I went on to rateyourmusic.com, went on to Alapalooza, read all of the comments, and I think the only comment I found that mentioned this song in a positive light was that, quote, blank, this song redacted, is slightly engaging at best. If you go onto Weird Al's official website and you go to the Ask Al section, this song is not mentioned at all. It's not, no one asks a question about it, and Al finds no reason to mention it in the entire thread. I went on to TikTok, and I'm not a TikTok person, and so I don't know how to use TikTok.
Okay.
But in my attempt to use TikTok, I think there is only one video that uses any part of this song as the audio for a video. I'm sure I'm using TikTok wrong because that seems like an absurd result, but that's what I found. One whole video on the billions that exist. Also, I might not be using the internet correctly, but if you go onto DMDB, which is the Dr. Demento database, where you can
My
look
Bible.
up,
Yeah.
you can look up what any show has played. I don't think this song has ever been on his show. Not even once. And I checked a couple of different times to make sure I wasn't doing it right.
Oh my god. I love the suspense of this.
On Reddit, on the Weird Al fandom on Reddit, someone put up an NCAA style bracket for voting for the best song. This song made it out of round 1 because it beat the plumbing song. Speaking of the plumbing song, it won 42-25. But then it lost in the second heat. It lost to Bob, and it was trounced 132-58.
Well, Bob is great, so I get that. Oh my god.
Right. That's, I mean, how could we?
Yeah, Bob is delightful.
According to setlist.fm, Al has only played this song live 15 times, and it was only during 2018, during the Ill-Advised Vanity Tour. And he says that it's one of the 10%ers, so it only made it into 10% of the set lists. I went and listened to a couple of those live shows yesterday to see what he said about them. And he said, this is a 10%er song, and usually a song gets to be a 10%er for one of the two reasons. Nobody likes it, and it's hard on my voice. And then he introduced the song by saying, this song qualifies for both things, which was delightful.
I'm trying to figure it out. I think I might have an idea.
Okay. I got one more thing for you.
Okay.
Former guest of your podcast, Nathan Rabin, has written about every song that Weird Al has ever done, including this one. And he says, quote, the song violates a number of sacrosanct comedy rules simultaneously and egregiously.
Oh God. Now I don't know. Now I don't know. I'm sure I read that. That line sounds, oh my God. I don't know. Okay, you're just going to have to tell me because I'm afraid of the answer.
I think the most underrated song on Alapalooza is She Never Told Me She Was a Mime.
Okay. Oh, I can see how that's also tough on Al's voice. Okay, that is not where my brain was even going. My brain was like, is this the one I picked? Is this the one I picked? And this is not the one I picked.
Okay. A little turn at the end. I like that.
So, because like everything you were saying, I was like, that could be true of this song. That could be true of this song.
Yeah.
That could be true of this song. But then I know Nathan Rabin enough to know that like that last thing he wouldn't have said about the song that was my pick.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm like, no, it can't be. Now I have no idea. So you have all that science to back you up, all that research that you did.
Hard
I
facts.
love She Never Told Me She Was a Mime.
Oh, good. That's delightful. You are clearly in the minority.
Well,
And
yeah,
I think that's also great.
yeah.
Now, on your big old ranking list, is it top half or bottom half?
That's a good question. I can consult.
I'll let you go find it.
I will consult the list and find out.
I think She Never Told Me She Was a Mime is a lot like my dad's favorite Weird Al song, which is Gotta Boogie.
Oh, that one's
And
great.
I think the thing that makes these songs great is that they are so inane. They're so stupid. They have exactly one joke, and that's it. And I think even like the audience anticipating another layer of the joke, and many times Weird Al has layers upon layers of his jokes. You listen to Foil, verse 1, it's about one thing. Foil verse 2 is about a completely separate thing. If you listen to a complicated song, every verse is like a different story and goes to a different punchline.
Oh, okay. Yes, I agree with you on all of those things, and I just found it. And I'm gonna tell the people this. She Never Told Me She Was a Mime on our brand new Fresh Baby rankings is number 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What song is it just above and below?
It is just below Craigslist and just above Genius in France.
That's wild.
See,
That's such an interesting list.
yeah, my brother and I have very interesting opinions on Weird Al music. I think,
Sure.
you know, we like what we like and we have our reasons for liking what we like, but we also revisit our rankings periodically because talking about Weird Al as we do, we come to find that we're like, oh no, our gut reaction at that time was very incorrect, which is why we said this on our re-rank episode, but in our re-rank, the song Velvet Elvis moved up 113 spots.
That's intense.
Because we were both so incredibly wrong about this.
It's also like the mood of the day that you're making your lists or making your choices on your rankings too. Like,
yeah, there's some
like,
things.
what do I
that-
value
yeah.
today that I'm not going to value, that I will value differently in a couple of years
Yeah.
or whatever it is?
There are some songs that like our number one didn't change. Very little changed in like the top 10,
Sure. Okay.
you know, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of shuffling around, you know, the middle
great.
area is what did the most shuffling. Because the bottom kind of stayed the bottom, the top kind of stayed the top, and the middle had a lot of shuffling.
There's
I would-
a lot of middle if you've released over 150 songs or whatever he's up to.
Yeah.
So
We're
Yeah.
at like it's 169 because we just included the re-recordings from the Weird the Al Yankovic Story soundtrack and the new track Now You Know. So those got
smart.
those got put in.
Presumably you skipped over the like the original score that's like tacked on to the
Yeah.
end of the record. That's
I
like
didn't do that. I own
30-second motifs for something.
I own that on vinyl. It's a double album that I don't think needs to exist, but I have it.
It's crazy. It's like the second half of that is like the motifs and then like little tiny bits of like all kinds of odd stuff. It's an interesting endeavor for someone
Yeah.
to have made that. And I'm glad I've got the CD version, but like it's such an odd choice.
It's very odd. And I can tell you, like, I own it on vinyl. It's hot pink vinyl. And actually on the YouTube channel that my husband and I have, soon there will be my very baby's first vinyl review on that
Oh,
channel.
yeah.
It's going to be that album.
Awesome.
And I have thoughts.
Love it. That's so exciting.
So yeah, check that out when it comes out, because it'll come out at some point sooner than later.
Speaking of, she never once made an album review until recently. She Never Told Me She Was a Mime is a song that I give props for because it's got one joke and it's 7 seconds short of 5 minutes long. It's such a
so
long song for one joke. And I think maybe that's the secondary level of humor here. Of I will write a long song. The punchline is given away in the title before you even start the track, so you know what the joke is. So it's almost like the verse 1 is almost a waste of time because you know what the punchline's going to be. Here's the reveal. She never told me she was a mime. I like that pacing to it. I think it's delightful. I think that the music itself is pretty good. It's got like some basic 1-4-5 dominant chord progression stuff that you would get on a basic rock song. But the opening guitar riff is really fun, and it has like a wildly good guitar solo.
Yeah,
in 2/3 into it.
Yeah, I think this is one of those Weird Al songs that I say, like, if it had different lyrics, could have been a minor hit.
In terms of like a non-humorous song
Yeah.
for a mainstream band. Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's poppy enough to certainly be like in the 80s rock,
Yeah.
arena rock, hair metal.
I
kind of thing.
also feel like in that same vein, not to like totally derail you, but I feel like the song UHF, if it didn't have the name Weird Al attached to it, could have been also like a minor hit.
I think
like-
these two songs have a lot of sonic similarities
Yeah.
too, and even like this one, Talk Soup, and even like Traffic Jam a little bit, Waffle King, they all have these like big horn sections in them. Sometimes they sound like horns, sometimes they sound like synthesizers that sound like horns. But it's this like big bombastic dance record almost. And UHF I think does that really well. And these songs, this song in particular, is certainly lesser than UHF, but still like has that like catchiness to it, and it's got like the banging pianos on it, the propulsive nature to it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't know if it's the best song. Certainly not the best song on this record.
It's not,
and certainly not one that like deserves top accolades even in the Weird Al world. But I think like it's ignored a lot and even hated on a lot, where I think it qualifies as underrated simply from either the indifference or the ire that it gets from music fans.
I think that's a perfect definition of like an underrated Weird Al song. I think you did an excellent job. You understood the assignment, and I think you did an fabulous work with it.
Thank you. Let me take a victory sip from my chalice.
You should. And because this is an audio medium, I want you to understand that he's basically drinking from a pimped out Lil Jon cup right now.
That's right. Yes. It's terribly heavy. My wrist is very sore.
Very sore. Yeah. He's going to end up needing like carpal tunnel surgery after this, just from his appearance.
I hope so. I spent a lot on this cup.
It's such an expensive cup for a podcast appearance where nobody's going to see it.
That's right. I have that bad habit all the time where we'll our show is a lot of we dredge up strange things from the internet and we make each other watch it and comment on them. And there's a lot of cutting out us staring at a screen silently, trying to understand what exactly we're looking at before we're commenting on it. And there's a lot of Tim, you got to remember you got an audio medium on your hands. It's not people watching you watch something. I got no time for video editing.
Oh, no, I know. My husband does all of our video editing for the YouTube channel. I'm just he literally just was I am done with my audio podcast. I'm cool with just doing our little YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my audio podcast because I understand how to do that. And you do the video editing. I'm going to do the audio editing for my stuff. And then we're just
What a good team.
It's great. It's delightful. He's a Weird Al fan. So, I mean, that's kind of a prerequisite for, I think, being a spouse of mine.
I think it's got to be you got to at least learn to like it if you're not already a fan.
Well, it wasn't even a learn to like. He was the one who had the Squeeze box set before.
Oh,
And I joke.
It was a love at first sight. He was across the bar.
Yeah.
He was carrying the whole Squeeze box.
It was
box
just there.
set.
It was just there. I joke that like I married him because he had that, and like the fact that he's great is a bonus. But like it's really the other way around, you know. I got to own all of Weird Al's albums on vinyl, and also, it's fun. But all this to say, people, you know, don't settle, because
Don't settle.
yeah,
Life's long. Take time to find your person.
life's long enough to find your person.
Yeah,
I think.
agreed.
So anyway, I'm glad we went there with that, and I love your underrated track. I think it's great. Because like
you might even like it more than I. Because if I was to rank all the songs, I don't think it would be 37.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that let me see. I'm going to search on my sheet.
Ooh, did you take special consideration for what would be 27?
Oh yeah. I mean, we didn't take special concession when like picking them, but we did call them out on our re-rank episode. What was 27 and what moved either up 27 spots or down 27 spots on our re-rank.
Fun.
So we did the whole thing. We did that whole bit. And actually the song that I think is the most underrated on Alapalooza is number 49 on our list.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
lower than the one you thought, because this didn't cross my mind as being underrated because my brother and I both revere it a little bit more. I went with Waffle King.
It's a great song.
I
It's
think
great.
Waffle King is great. And here's my basic thinking on this, is that Waffle King was actually recorded during the sessions for Off the Deep End. And it did not make the cut for Off the Deep End. Because if you look at the recording dates for Alapalooza, it's like June of 1990 and then a period in 92 and 93. Okay?
Okay.
And what happened in June of 1990 was the recording of Waffle King. So it could have, should have, would have been on Off the Deep End if Weird Al himself didn't think it was underrated enough to not make the cut for that album.
Interesting.
Okay?
Interesting.
Yes.
I like this.
So I'm like, okay, so this is underrated in two ways. In that people outside the Weird Al fandom probably don't know Waffle King exists, number one. Number two, people inside the Weird Al fandom, I don't see them talking about Waffle King much. It probably has more comments somewhere on all of the research that you did, okay, because it wasn't quite as bad as She Never Told Me She Was a Mime. And then number three, Weird Al didn't want to even put it on the album that he recorded it for.
Yeah, that's huge. And then, like, to your point of like speeding up Alapalooza's production schedule, it's like, okay, well, I have this song now, I can put it on this one, but almost like begrudgingly because it wasn't good enough for
Right.
the previous record.
But I guess it's
Which is
good
interesting.
enough for now. You know, it's like
The narrative of that song is so interesting.
it's
though. Like,
wild because
it's
starts
crazy.
It starts so innocently. He's like,
that's a song that
I'm
does
real
have
good
a
at
wild
making
twist to it.
waffles. Like, look at me, I'm making waffles, and then it's like, roll out the red carpet, here I come, you peons better scram, you know, and it's like, why are you so full of yourself over a waffle?
Yeah, he's a successful waffle entrepreneur that turns into a megalomaniac.
Yes.
And it's like and it's also a longer song, so it takes a while for like the character arc for the turn to happen. So it's interesting to listen to more than once.
Yeah.
Because like by the end you're like, is this the same song as the beginning? Because it sounds the same, but this guy sounds different.
Yeah, it changes so much. And then I think for me, the icing on the cake is in kind of like the outro chorus, hey, batter, batter. And it's because, the baseball pun and also batter. That's great.
Yeah, but also like, why would a king say "Hey, batter, batter"? He wouldn't. It's just a pun that doesn't even fit the
Right.
logic of the song.
Right. Right.
And he also mentions the word batter, I think, in the first verse. So it's even a retread of one of the words he's already covered just to say, hey, batter, batter,
Yes.
for a reason that's unclear.
Yeah. And so I think for all of those reasons and more, I think Waffle King, and also I love the style of Peter Gabriel. Like it's that big, like heavy, like sledgehammer kind of like
Yeah.
big time Peter Gabriel vibe. And I just think that's fun to listen to. And I love that Weird Al took a stab at it about waffles. And
I love
great.
I love Sledgehammer. I took like a history of rock and roll class in college, and it was where I was introduced to a lot of folks for the first time, including Peter Gabriel. And we watched the music video.
Oh,
sort
so
of like
cool.
Iconic MTV, like high concept music video. And I was like, this song's really good. And I had always like, even like the whole decade of the 80s, I was like, boo, the 80s. There's like synth pop, and I don't care about it. So therefore,
No, the
all of
80s, so
is
much
bad.
more.
And then like you dive into these other artists who aren't small. Peter Gabriel is huge. And it's like, oh, this song is great. I like this whole style of music. And this Alapalooza has like enough of that kind of vibe that I think it's a really fun, like, this is a solid record. It's like the lowest rank on like albums in terms of the Rate My Music or Rate Your Music has it on the lowest. It's the only one below a 3 on a 5-star rating. But like, I don't know why, because I don't think it's a dud in any way. I think it's like, it's super eclectic. It's a little bit like a junk drawer, but I think that makes it interesting because it's so like unexpected on what you're going to get.
Yeah, you know, there's that for sure. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say that
you better be careful.
I know. I think that Off the Deep End is more of a junk drawer than this album is.
Mhm.
But Weird Al fans and casual Al fans alike somehow revere Off the Deep End more than they do Alapalooza on the shoulders of Smells Like Nirvana.
Yes, it's the problem that people have for all kinds of albums, where they think about the lead single or maybe 2 lead singles and then use that as a shortcut for talking about the whole 45-minute journey that's in there. And Off the Deep End, and what's also true about Weird Al albums is you have to kind of already dig the kind of music that is being parodied, because you're going to hear it again.
Yep.
Right? You're going to hear all that stuff. So there is the types of songs that Weird Al taps into on Alapalooza I like more already before he puts pen to paper. So I'm probably going to like this album more than Off the Deep End.
Yeah.
Or even like an album that I struggle liking is Alpacalypse, because it takes music from an era where I was like not listening to pop music at all. And in fact, I had to listen to it at work because I worked at the college cafeteria. So it's like music that makes me think that I'm serving low quality food for poor college students.
That's fair.
And then it's like parodied on top of that. I was like, I don't want to hear any of this kind of stuff anymore. So it'll be interesting to deep dive into that one. But I think, yeah, that's the style of music certainly has some play into people's overall assessment of a Weird Al album.
Oh, for sure. And I love that you brought up Alpacalypse, because not next week, because next week my brother and I are going to be talking about That Boy Could Dance.
Oh, nice.
And
Good.
the week after that, podcast buddy and friend of the show, Dayton from the Docking Bay podcast, he's going to be here to do exactly this about Alpacalypse.
All right.
So I
Heck
get to
yeah.
deep dive into Alpacalypse in 2 weeks. And
That'll be interesting to listen to.
yeah, it'll be fun. So, you know, we have a good time with all of it. But I think we covered what we needed to cover here. So I know I let you say it at the beginning, but again, here at the end, you know, let the people of the Beard Owl podcast audience know, like, what you do and where they can find you.
Yeah, we do a show called WeirdPals. New episodes come out every Monday while our season's going. We are in the middle of the Dare to Be Stupid record. I think when this comes out, we'll be doing, I think the George of the Jungle watch-along will happen. And Yoda will be dropping, I think, in this interim. we are going to we've dared ourselves live while recording, so now we're committed to it because these episodes have released. We told ourselves, what'd be really cool is for the polka medley is we should have a live show, and we should have audience members come in with like facts about the songs that are being covered. And so as of today, like hours ago, I've booked a venue on June 25th. If you're in the Bay Area, come see Weird Pals live. We will be at the End Games Improv Theater in the Mission District at 8 p.m. And if any of that information changes between now and then, you can follow Weird Pals Pod on social media, and we will keep you up to speed on our grand plans. We had like a call-in episode last season down, and we're going to do it live with people in the room, and we'll see how the experiment goes.
That's
Crossing our fingers.
That's delightful. That's delightful. I wish we could do live stuff, but like I'm in Florida, my brother's in Pennsylvania, so we've done a couple like on-site recordings, like when I've gone up there to visit and stuff like that, but nothing on the scale of what you're doing. So I think that is super cool. Is there? So you're just going to record it live? Is there going to be a live stream?
I don't think there'll be a live stream. I think we're going to record video and put that up, and I will record all the audio and turn that into the final episode of the
that's
season.
cool.
So
that's very cool.
So it'll be cool. So if you want to be there for the last episode, June 25th is the date, and then that will come out later in July once we finally get to that track for the season. It's a big risk. I'm nervous about it. I'm also excited about it. It could be an entire flop. It could be nobody shows up, and then Andy and I have to figure out how to do the live show in front of no one. That's an interesting challenge, but I would rather people show up and share the joy of Weird Al. And even if they don't know anything about Weird Al, it'll be a wild thing anyway. We've got like prizes we're going to give out and like play games and stuff. It'll be sort of a bunch of nonsense. It'll be a good time.
I love that. And so I know, I look at the analytics of this show. I know that a good chunk of the listeners of Beard Al are based out of California. And I know California is huge. So I don't know what part of California people from California are listening to us from. Yes. I can't get that granular with my analytics, but I know there are Californians listening to Beard Al. So if you happen to be anywhere near the Bay Area or have any interest into going to the Bay Area for that day to listen to our Weird Pals, the Weird Pals of Beard Al.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Do that, then absolutely head over there. Welcome. Because I wish I could, man. That sounds like an absolute blast. That sounds like so much fun. I love that y'all do improv. Quick little sidebar. When I moved from Pennsylvania to Florida, in an effort to meet people that weren't coworkers, I did a bunch of improv workshops and like improv performances and stuff. So like I know the improv community here in Jacksonville, and it changed my life in a way that I can't, like, I just know the skills of it now. So like in that I'm not afraid to have a conversation with somebody that I don't know. I can get up in front of anybody and pretty much do anything because it's like I can yes and my way out of anything.
Yeah.
And I think that is super, super cool.
Yes, it's we're lucky in that the community of improv in San Francisco is super supportive and very kind, and people go to each other's shows all the time. Conveniently, we'll be at the Improv Theater, and there'll be an improv jam the 2 hours before our show. So people will be there doing improv, hanging out with each other, meeting people for the first time, or meeting friends and that kind of thing. So it's an awesome environment to jump into. And if you're not an improv-y person, show up for the Weird Pals live show and meet the people anyway. And you'll be like, these are cool people. I will come and goof off and make some nonsense.
Yeah. And I love that you're doing the live show for the polka, because that's stuff that's tangible to people that aren't Weird Al fans. It's like, oh, I know the songs in this polka. So like have a playlist of the songs that are in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so we've got like Twisted Sister, and we've got like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and Duran Duran, and the Jacksons, and Mick Jagger. Like it's a strange like pile of musical influences. And what we'll do is we're asking people to come in with like one fun fact about any of the bands, and then we're also going to have like a jar of fun facts that they can pull from and share what they learn like in the moment, as opposed to like coming with homework done or something like that.
That is
it'll
so
be
cool. I think that's great.
lots of avenues to get involved.
That's so great what you're doing. That's so great what you're doing. And, you know, I will have as many links as I can in the show notes of this to help you listen and facilitate and find the things that you need to find. So, Tim from WeirdPals, thank you so much for being on Beard Al for our Alapalooza underrated episode.
Thanks for having me. It was a delight.
Hooray. And so, you know what? Because you are a Weird Al person, you're going to get this button because the show's over.
And that's when those security guards threw us out.
Excellent.
Yeah. I don't do that all the time. Sometimes I forget when I have people that aren't my brother on the show. But cheers. Yeah, I finished my beer. My beer.
Well done. I got to catch up quite a bit.
No, well, no, you don't have
Cheers,
to catch
everyone.
up. You had a bigger can than I did. I only had a 12 ounce. You look like you had a 16-ounce can. So
I had a
like
16.
yeah, so
This
you're fine.
chalice it's bedazzled.
It's
to
bedazzled. I
specific-
see you using two hands to lift it, and I understand that. So,
Yeah.
with that, I am going to play our theme song and let you know that I forget what my brother and I. No, I know what my brother and I are talking about. Next week, we're talking about That Boy Could Dance. So that's what you get to hear next week is me and John talking about That Boy Could Dance, and you're going to enjoy it. So anyway, here's our closing theme. Tim, thanks for being here. This was delightful.
You're so welcome. Dance party time.
Oh, always. This is the best theme song in the world.
All right, listeners, you can't see it. I'm doing the best dance moves you could ever imagine.
He really is. Best dance moves ever.
That boy could dance. More like Lauren and Finn can dance.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. We got a one. We got a cancel again.